So in this topic, I am going to discuss about a case study of a city named Warangal, which became the model sanitation city. So let us start with the introduction. So over 65% of urban India relies on on-site sanitation, which operates in the near absence of a regulated system to manage sanitation across the value chain, resulting in unmanaged waste as sludge. So over 65% of urban India relies on on-site sanitation, which operates in the near absence of regulated system to manage sanitation. So the on-site sanitation operates in the absence of a regulated system to manage the sanitation process, which results into unmanaged facial sludge. The existing standards on the design of septic tanks and the requirement for periodic desludging are not followed. Emptying and transportation of septic is not based on scientific principles, and the septic treatment facilities are not developed in most cities. So you can see the existing standards on the design of septic tanks and the requirement for periodic desludging are not followed. Emptying and transportation are not based on scientific principles, and the septic treatment facilities are not developed in most of the cities. Indiscriminate disposal of septic has significant health and environment implications. So the indiscriminate disposal of septic has significant health and environmental consequences. The Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India has brought out an advisory note and primer on facial sludge management and septic management in urban India in 2013 and in 2016, and encouraged urban local bodies to formulate their own bylaws and rules for management of septic in the city in consonance with Municipal Act in place. So the Ministry of Urban Development has brought out an advisory note and primer on FSM and septic management in urban India. It encouraged urban local bodies to formulate their own bylaws and rules for management of septic in the city, but in consonance with Municipal Act in place. The Greater Warangal Municipal Corporation, while recognizing the importance of safe facial sludge management, took a lead in developing a regulatory framework covering entire sanitation value chain. So this was the introduction. Now let us go to the challenges or the problems. So in 2015, about 77% of households had access to on-site sanitation, among which 59% had septic tanks and 18% had pit toilets. The design and construction of toilets was not regulated, and there was prevalence of insanitary toilets, pit toilets, and septic tanks having an outlet directly connected to open drains. The existing process of building approval requires CTN to submit the house construction plan along with the design of the septic tank as compliant with standard for construction of septic tanks. This practice was not followed over there. Another challenge or problem was that no field inspection were being conducted by GWMC staff to ensure compliance. Field visits undertaken by the ASCI team to residential areas with low coverage of toilets, partially slums, revealed non-compliance of toilet construction standards even for newly constructed toilets under Swachh Bharat mission. Desludging was not periodic, and customers as well as desludging operators had limited appreciation of the reasons for requirements, standards and operating procedures related to periodic desludging. Another challenge or problem was that the transportation of facial sludge collected from septic tanks was not as per Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering Organization guidelines. The desludging operators were not equipped with protective gear such as gloves, masks, etc. The desludging operators lacked protective gear such as masks, gloves, etc. The trucks were not equipped with any safety kit. Also, manual scavenging with the help of buckets was practiced in the area where desludging trucks could not reach, or where the sludge was too thick or solidified for the pump to work effectively. Another problem was that although the trucks being used by the private desludging operators were found to be in compliance with design requirements, the operators and workers had not undergone formal training programs on the transportation and associated aspects such as use of personal protective equipment, disposal, etc. as per regulations and procedures. Another problem was that the facial sludge generated in the city was not scientifically treated and disposed. The sludge collected from households was not being disposed on agricultural land, drains, low-lying areas and water bodies around the city due to non-availability of a designated place for disposal or treatment. There is no effective monitoring process for facial sludge management by the municipal officials due to lack of operative regulation and supporting guidelines. Hence, there was a need for developing a comprehensive facial sludge management guidelines. And now we are going to discuss about the responses. The findings of the diagnostic study were disseminated widely amongst multiple stakeholders at city and state level through workshops and training programs for elected representatives, senior administrators, and through consultations with citizen groups. So the findings of the study were disseminated widely among multiple stakeholders at the city and state level through workshops and training programs for elected representatives, senior administrators, and through consultations with citizen groups. Social media and opinion polls were also used. A city sanitation task force comprising multiple stakeholders, including civil society groups, was established for dialogue and participation. And now let us discuss about the actions taken. The GWMC addressed this multifaceted facial sludge management challenge by introducing facial sludge management regulations and septic management guidelines in compliance with and drawing upon provisions and specifications related to septic management in various national level guidelines and regulations. So what was the objective of the regulation? The objective of the regulation and guidelines was to promote a comprehensive and integrated approach to facial sludge management and septic management covering collection, storage, desludging, transportation, treatment, disposal and reuse. GWMC formalized facial sludge management regulations and supporting operative guidelines by issuing a council resolution on 25th March 2016, making Warangal the first city in India to introduce a comprehensive facial sludge management regulatory framework. So, Warangal was the first city in India to introduce a comprehensive facial sludge management regulatory framework. The guidelines cover the following key elements of septic management, that is, design and construction of septic tanks, conversion of insanitary latrines into sanitary latrines, septic tank pumping and desludging, septic transportation, treatment, disposal and reuse of septage, information, education and communication, training programs, record keeping and reporting through MIS, helpline for septic management. So these are all the actions taken. Now the last part, we are going to discuss about the lessons learned. So what did we learn from this? Urgency to establish facial sludge treatment plan. Because of delay in establishing FSTP, operators continued to dispose sludge in an unregulated manner and citizens did not see significant change. Technology selection process, detailed project report preparation and earmarking of land for facial sludge treatment plan should begin early on in the project cycle, and facial sludge treatment plans should be prioritized and implemented concurrently along with other components of regulations. The site selection for facial sludge treatment plant. The land parcel identified for FSTP is over 20 km away from the city limits. Selection of suitable land parcels closer to the market, preferably within travel distance of 10 km, will enhance compliance and improve financial viability of the initiative. Defining institutional arrangement for facial sludge management. So there is no clear assignment of roles and responsibilities of stakeholders for safe management of facial sludge. State government could play an enabling role and define upfront responsibilities of citizens, GWMC, Pollution Control Board, civil society groups, etc. Further, at the municipal level, organizational structure and staff responsibilities should be clearly defined for success of facial sludge management activities. And the last, strengthening data system at municipal level. the city level data systems with regard to toilet coverage, toilet typology, property numbers are disorganized, hindering effective planning of facial sludge management. It is important to strengthen data systems using geographic information system, that is GIS, tools to enable effective planning and for introducing scheduled desludging of toilets. So with this topic comes to an end. Let me take a recap of what I have discussed over here. We have discussed about a case study of a city named Warangal and how it became a model sanitation city. We have discussed the introduction, the challenges and problems, the responses taken, the actions taken, and the lessons learned from this case study. Other cities of India should also take inspiration from the city Warangal to improve their sanitation condition. With this note, I am ending this topic.